Update. I've been married for a month and my husband is having an affair with my sister. Original post. I've been in shock since I found out. We have been married for a month. He's been having the affair with my sister since before we got engaged, back in November. My sister is 8 months pregnant. Her husband was the one who discovered the affair, and he is divorcing her. He had to get a test done on the advice of his aunt, who is a solicitor, to make sure their 1.5-year-old son was his child. But my sister doesn't yet know whether her husband or my husband is the father of her baby. I'll be seeking a divorce, even though my husband wants us to go to counseling and stay married. I'm an advocate, a barrister, so I won't have any trouble finding a solicitor at least. The law only takes adultery into consideration as to why the marriage broke down, and not for how the assets are divided or settled. However, at least I will not have to pay him support since we were only married for a month before I moved out of our flat. I will never speak to my sister again, no matter how much she begs me to forgive her, and I am not staying married to my husband, no matter how much he begs me to stay. I don't believe either of them when they say they are sorry, not one bit. Now for the top comments before reading the update 10 months later. I'm so sorry for their betrayal. I would never speak to her ever again either. The number of posts about siblings cheating with their siblings' partners is truly baffling. Where I'm from, these cases are extremely rare. Maybe they're just hidden well. I don't know. We look at our sibling's partner as our own sibling and family. The thought of looking at my sister's partner as an affair partner is puke-inducing, and I would kill for my sister. To even think about putting her through something so traumatic is beyond comprehension to me. I don't understand. Do people not love their siblings? My sister is like my child. I know I shouldn't judge, but like WTF? What is this upbringing? Why is this so common? Makes me glad I'm an only child. This kind of betrayal is just on another level. Good riddance. Your future ex-brother-in-law is losing his infectious wart of a wife, and you are losing a bubbling infection of a soon-to-be ex-husband. Nature will take its course, and necrosis will do as it does. After they fall off from you two, their in-love facade, which just masks their lust and gluttony for each other and themselves, will rot and die together. Let them live in the decomposing latrine, where they built their lecherous lies. The scum of the earth always finds camaraderie with maggots and roaches. The law may limit your legal entitlements. However, the threat of exposure in alleging adultery and the publication of his and your sister's adulterous acts may cause his willingness to provide you a stipend or settlement in excess of the customary entitlement. Absent that, blow them both up with family, friends, acquaintances, and social media. Both merit the absolute worst. Good luck to you. Please keep us updated. Now for the update. Last June, I found out my husband was having an affair with my sister. I had been married for a month at that time. Their affair began before I was engaged. My sister's husband was the one who first found out. When it was discovered, my sister was about 8 months pregnant with a baby girl, and it turned out my ex-husband is the father. Apparently, he was furious when he found out because he didn't want children. My ex-husband and I met in an online dating group for people who don't want children, or to date people who have children from former relationships. My ex-husband and my sister both begged me to forgive them. My sister said she couldn't help it, that she fell in love with him, and my ex-husband said he couldn't be blamed for what happened. I couldn't believe they thought what they did could be forgiven and forgotten. My ex-husband didn't want a divorce, and neither did my sister want one from my former brother-in-law. I'm divorced now. I'm an advocate, known as a barrister in the rest of the UK, so I was fortunate to already know the best solicitors who could represent me in my divorce. Since I was only married for a month before I sought the divorce and moved out of our flat, I did not have to pay my ex-husband maintenance, and the divorce did not take long. It's a different story for my sister and my former brother-in-law. They were married longer, they own property, and they have a son together. He was 17 months old when the affair was discovered. My sister may end up having to pay spousal and child maintenance since she earns more. Their divorce is ongoing. I haven't spoken with my former brother-in-law since I first left my ex-husband, but I feel badly for him. He was devastated when he found out about the affair and that the baby wasn't his. He didn't deserve any of that. People who say you should just get over it when someone cheats on you have no idea. I have never felt pain like this before. It wasn't even just emotional, it was physical as well. I'm still heartbroken over this. I had no idea anything could hurt so much. I'm going to start seeing a counselor, but it doesn't feel like enough. I haven't seen or spoken to my ex-husband since I moved out of our flat. The only contact during the divorce was through our solicitors. He's dead to me, and so's my sister. I haven't seen or spoken to her since shortly after I left my ex-husband, and I never want to see her again. She's dead to me. I don't think I'll ever heal from this. I'm fortunate my parents, my other sister, and most of my family support me and have disowned my traitor sister and no longer have contact with her. Anyone who tells me I should forgive her or chooses her over me gets removed from my life with no second chance. I don't ever want to hear anything about either one of them again. From what my ex-husband's solicitor said during my divorce, they, my sister and ex-husband, plan to marry after she's granted a divorce. I haven't heard anything about either of them since then. I try not to even think about either of them. They were two of the people I loved most in the world, and they did something I'll never heal from. They are selfish, and they destroyed me. Anyone who says I should get over this or forgive and forget has no idea what it is like. I wouldn't forgive them either, especially knowing they were sleeping together well before the marriage. He stood up there with her. Her sister was probably beside her in the wedding party, pregnant with his child. The depths of scumbaggery are low, and the heights of entitlement are high. But you can't help who you love, even if they're in a committed relationship. And other stock excuses from the cheater handbook. I do believe you can't control who you love or are attracted to. You can control what you do about it, though. Thank you for the update. You and your brother-in-law are both making the best possible decision. You're right. Your ex and your ex-sister are horrible, selfish people. They hurt so many people. Do whatever you can to protect your peace and mental health. I'm so sorry they did this to you. Honestly, I'd recommend blocking anyone who says you need to forgive them and move on. No, you don't. You may, at some point in the future, need to explore forgiveness from the point of view of easing the weight on your heart. But don't feel pressured to offer forgiveness to either of them. I wish you the best of luck in the future. Guarantee the only reason sister is marrying the ex at this point is because he's all she has since she's been disowned by the entire family. It's a marriage of convenience. Something tells me that's going to be one toxic relationship, as I'm sure there'll be resentment there from both of them, and they'll have no one to blame but themselves. All I can say for the ex who never wanted kids, karma. While I feel for the kid, I hope the kid doesn't grow up with parents that resent her. She doesn't deserve that. One of the first stories I read when I was a newbie Redditor was about a man whose wife was cheating on him with his brother and got pregnant. They divorced, and the a-hole chick and the brother got married. Initially, the family supported the brother who was cheated on. However, once the baby was born and some time passed, the mom and dad came around. The baby is innocent, and as such, forced the brother, who did nothing wrong, to be around his cow of an ex and his foul brother at all family holidays or vacations, or don't attend. He chose not to attend. I say all this to say, there's a better than good chance that your parents and family will forgive your a-hole sister, especially once they are married. They will then ask you to be the better person or cite some innocent baby BS. Be ready. Next story. I don't miss my sister, and everyone thinks I'm grieving. My sister died a year ago. Drunk driver, middle of the night, gone instantly. She was 24, beautiful, kind. Everyone loved her, the golden child, the angel. At the funeral, I gave a eulogy. People told me it was moving. They hugged me, cried on me, said I was so strong, so brave. But here's the truth I can't say out loud. I don't miss her. I don't even feel sad. If anything, I feel free. My sister made my life hell. No one saw it. Not our parents, not her friends, not the teachers who adored her. She wore sweetness like armor, like a weapon. But behind closed doors, she made me feel like nothing. Picked me apart, made fun of my body, told me I was stupid, weird, a burden. She once convinced me to tell her my biggest fear, just so she could use it against me later in front of people I liked. She said I was too sensitive. She laughed when I cried, called me the backup kid, said if I died first, she'd wear red to my funeral because black's too boring. I tried to tell people. Once, they didn't believe me. Said she was just teasing, that she loved me, that I was imagining things. So I shut up, let the lie live, let her be the saint. And now she's gone, and I pretend to be broken. I let people think I'm devastated, but the truth is, I sleep better. I breathe easier. There's a quiet in my life that I never had before, and I hate myself for feeling this way, but I don't wish she were still here, and I don't think I ever did. You're not an a-hole for not missing your abuser. This 100%. There's this attitude in Western society that if someone dies, we may never speak ill of them again. It's crap. The fact is, some people are actually awful. Not every dead person was a little angel while alive. There are people where the world is better off without them in it. And there are people where specific other people are better off without them in it. I have no idea if your sister was toxic to everyone or just you. But it's okay to say that your life is better off now that she's gone. Not everybody would understand that though. So I suggest when people talk about her, just change the subject and say you don't really want to talk about it. I get it. It's okay. Just change the subject and refuse to engage when they bring her up, even with your parents. If they push, just say everyone processes things differently and I don't want to talk about it. Let them think whatever they want and fly. Hugs to you. I hope you wore red lipstick to deliver that eulogy. No one else would know, but you would. I had my nails painted red. Last story. Keeping my sister's secret is eating me alive, and now she's turning the whole family against me. Over a year ago, my sisters and I took a DNA test. Just for fun, those ancestry ones everyone does. And surprise, one of us has a different father. The sister it affected, I'll call her Maddie, was shocked. Understandably. We were all shocked, but she begged us not to tell our parents. We agreed because it felt like the compassionate thing to do. But ever since then, I've been living with this weight. I see my parents and feel like a liar. They talk about our childhood, family memories, and we just sit there, all pretending everything is normal. And it's not just me. The other sisters feel it too, and also just want to clear the air. None of our other sisters or I care that she has a different father. Nothing feels different about her being our sister. We just hate having to hide this from our parents. But no one says a word because Maddie controls everything with her moods. Here's the thing. Maddie has always been like this. She's the low-key bully in the family, the one who steamrolls everyone. No one ever calls her out because it's easier to just avoid the fight. Pick your battles has turned into never picking any when it comes to her. Even our parents tiptoe around her. She's 30, has a college degree, doesn't work, lives at home rent-free, doesn't date, and doesn't have much of a life outside of us sisters. And yet, somehow, she thinks she has authority over everything, especially relationships. She hates men. I'm not saying she's cautious or protective. She actively hates them. She talks down about every boyfriend or husband before even meeting them. And once she meets them, she's openly rude, cold, and dismissive. Every time someone in our family gets into a relationship, we're suddenly on defense. We're constantly forced to either stand up for our partners or try to explain their every move to her. Like being in a relationship is a problem she has to approve. It's exhausting. For context, I have a chronic illness. So does my husband, and as a couple, we're really intentional about where we put our energy. We don't say yes to every family gathering. We show up when we can, but not when it's going to cost us days of recovery. Same for another sister of mine who's seeing someone new. She decided to skip a recent event too. Suddenly, that's a huge issue. My mom sent this guilt-laced message saying she was hurt we couldn't give just 3 hours. Mind you, I haven't gone to this kind of family thing in years without it being a big deal. But now it is. My husband, trying to support me, sent a calm message saying we weren't coming, and that was that. And then, Maddie exploded. She called me screaming. She didn't ask. She didn't check in. She went straight into a full-blown tirade. My husband overheard and, yeah, he lost his temper. He told her to go F herself. Was it mature? Maybe not. But after years of watching her bully everyone, I don't blame him. Now guess who everyone's mad at? Me. Not her, for screaming at me over a boundary. Not her, for constantly sabotaging every partner that gets close to our family. Me, because someone finally stood up to her. I've kept her secret for over a year. I've watched everyone around me walk on eggshells because she might get mad. I've held back, shut my mouth, let things slide to keep the peace. And for what? So she can flip out the second she doesn't get her way? Don't get me wrong, we all defend our partners, but it doesn't change anything. All of us sisters used to be super close, but now everything feels cracked and fragile. We're tired of carrying this secret. We're tired of pretending her opinion is the only one that matters. We're tired of managing her reactions like we're all responsible for her emotional regulation. I don't even know what I'm asking for. I guess just, does anyone else have a sibling like this? Someone who controls everything but somehow stays the victim? I'm sick of feeling like the villain for finally pushing back. Edit. Firstly, both our parents knew we were taking the DNA test. No one looked worried or upset in any way. A joke was even made about finding out the family secrets. So either they both know, both don't know, or my mom is sick of hiding and wanted it to come out. We aren't looking for revenge by telling the secret. It's the point that we are all very uncomfortable with keeping this secret for so long. But out of respect for her, we have kept it. She doesn't have any in return. Now for the top comments. Honestly, the secret has nothing to do with this. Your sister is just an a-hole. Exactly. I'm not seeing the point of mentioning this secret at all. I think it's time to go low or no contact. You and your sister are subjecting your partners to abuse, and it needs to stop. If you have to spill the secret and be a villain, then so be it. Stop being a doormat in the name of family. It's not doing anything for you. Okay, so, your sister sounds like an a-hole. However, this doesn't have anything to do with what you assume is her secret. First of all, she has nothing to be ashamed of. She didn't do anything wrong in this scenario. She has a different dad, meaning it's your mom who clearly did something wrong, not her. You make it seem like keeping her secret is doing her a favor, but in reality, you are all doing your mom a favor, not confronting her over something clearly having to do with her being unfaithful to your father. You can blame your sister for every other problem in the world, but I'm sorry, this one isn't on her. Because you clearly resent her. You see exposing this as some sort of payback. And honestly, her being conceived is not exactly her fault. You really need to separate the two. If anyone is to blame here, it's your mom. Possibly also your dad if he knew and they never told you guys. But I don't see how you think this is your sister's fault. You're acting like she did something wrong when, in fact, this cannot possibly be her fault at all. I appreciate you trying to offer another perspective, but I think you might be misunderstanding the core issue here. As I mentioned in my post, none of us care that Maddie has a different father. That revelation was a shock, but our love for her as our sister hasn't changed. The secret itself is a burden, yes, but it's the way Maddie has consistently treated all of us long before this discovery that's the real problem. We've always accommodated her moods, walked on eggshells to avoid her outbursts, and let her control family dynamics. This isn't about her parentage. It's about a lifelong pattern of behavior where she feels entitled to dictate how everyone else acts and reacts, and then plays the victim when someone finally pushes back. We're tired of constantly managing her emotions and feeling like we're in the wrong for setting boundaries. The DNA secret is just another layer on top of an already strained dynamic.